Hopefully we are rid of that problem forever. In July 1985, the Minister of Police declared a state of emergency. The police and the military were given extraordinary powers to quell the rage that was bursting out of the black communities all over South Africa. But people refused to be put down. By August, many townships were virtual no-go zones for the security forces. On the edge of East London, Duncan Village was simmering. The assassination of community leader and human rights champion Victoria Mxenge was the spark which ignited a powder keg of discontent. It led to a fortnight of battles between the people and the security forces. Jann Turner reports on the Truth Commission's look at an event that became known as the Duncan Village massacre.
Sunday, August 11th, 1985. Residents of Duncan Village Township in East London travelled in busloads to the funeral of Victoria Mxenge.
Victoria Mxenge is inkokheli even husband yakhe before Griffith Mxenge. He means a lot good because thina sazizazi basicinezelo ngurhulumente ophetheyo. Sasithi xa sibona bona bepha phambili. Sizive sinenkokheli thina. Inkokheli zethu zabantu abamnyama abangabacinezelo. Yiyo lento sakhathazekayo thina ngobulawa kwakhe. Kuba sathatha into bathina sibulawele into osikhokhelayo esususa kungcinezelo senkulekweni. Yiyo lento sabana umsindo kakhulu.
Victoria and Griffith Mxenge were both lawyers based in Durban, but home for them was the Eastern Cape. During their short lives, they worked with and for impoverished communities like Duncan Village. Griffiths was eliminated in 1981 by security policemen Dirk Coetzee and Joe Mamasela. Victoria was assassinated 4 years after her husband. While his killers are now facing trial, her murder is still a mystery. On the day of her funeral, enraged mourners necklaced a Ciskaian soldier who was caught up in the procession to the cemetery.
Sabuya pa sabona yonke into uyayazi into yepolitiki mosiba uyabona kwenzeka ntoni. Then sabuya pa sasine councillors sasazingazifuna apha eDuncan Village ezazisithengisa kubantu abamhlophe kuba thina masimremove semdantsane edisenta ukunyukwe nerent. Now ke ubuya kwethu phaya saya we involved because sathi sa rent office nalandawo yeno Jabulani before.
Monday, August 12th. The anger of the mourners sparked further outbursts all over the township. The revolt gained a momentum of its own that outstripped attempts by leaders to control it.
Most people were killed around the place where there's Gombo Community Hall. There was a bottle store in that particular, and there was a space next to the hall, and there was a roadblock next to that. So that's where people, I think plus minus 8 people were killed in that particular area alone. Then after they were driven down by the police, people started blocking the police from entering the township. They dragged all the old cars in the bridge below next to the hall, blocking the road. What happened when the police were no longer being in a position to get into the township? The army took over, which was together with the riot unit at that particular time. We were not able to identify who at that particular time was the commander of those particular 2 units. But the most guy who was known to be shooting, it was a soldier from Queenstown called Mokawen. He was coming from Queenstown. And another one was having silver hair. He was called Silver Fox.
When Tuesday dawned, the death toll was almost 10. The battle was now at its height, with the Duncan villagers pitting their sticks and stones and burning barricades against the tanks and guns of the security forces.
Okokuqala kwakungo-13th of August. Ndandihleli ecam kwendlu yentokazi yam ndifunda imagazini. Now ecango lendlu kuyada one room lo. Kukho abantu abadlulayo ke ngala mina. Abantu bedlula isfootstep manje zedlula. Ndiye ndafunda kuqhubekeke abantu yabazi abantu nje abanganabongozi abadlulayo. And in the meantime, emva koko kuye kwangena nje umuntu olijoni yabe sesithi kum stand up yikaffer yokaffer ndaphakama ndamanganyana ndaxhomisa ndalahla laa ncwadi phantsi ndaxhoma izandla ethube ke njengoba ndicela ixolo kuye ke sithi noma angandidubule uye ke wathi i-reaction yakhe wathoba ibharrel le uba wendolatha apha ebusweni ibharrel le wayithoba ke ndaye ndacinga uba mhlawumbi uzandiyeka kasondidubula kodwa ndava nje ngesithonga nje somblast ndawa ke phambi kwakhe ndaba kufuphi naye ndafilisa umzimba wala mna ndiweak ngoku so ndaqonda undidubula I use in a bad language, a vaga language. I'm talk and that's not to up and talk. Yes, I will cry.
By Thursday, there were at least 23 dead. The people were battered and exhausted. The local UDF leadership grasped this opportunity of a pause in the fighting to step in and take control.
On Thursday afternoon, we had to call a meeting to say to the people, look, now we have so many victims and the enemy is advancing and you're still fighting. It's important that we take some political retreat.
Summing up at the end of 2 days of submissions, Commissioner Bongani Mxenge requested that the officers in charge of those police and soldiers come to the TRC with an explanation of their actions during that terrible August in 1985.
10 years ago, Nomasonto Kumalo lived here in Duncan Village with her mother, Buyelwa, her older sister Nomakosazana, and their 2 children. This week, after the Commission had heard the story of the Duncan Village massacre unfold, Nomasonto told a different tale of sorrow. She lost her mother and sister in 1986. They burnt to death after their house was petrol-bombed by those they knew best, men and women with whom they shared neighbourly greetings, whom they broke bread with, and whom they sat in the same meetings with. But on the night of March 4, 1986, they discovered another face of terror.
We were woken up by stones which were thrown to the house, and we had to wake up. I peeked through the window and I saw many people, and I could recognize some of them because they live at the same street. I also went on the back window, and then I saw one with a petrol gallon. It's Makwedinana Konti. I went to my mother's room where my child was sleeping, and I could see the fire. On the next day, my mother died at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was on Wednesday. On Friday, my sister died.
Nomasonto and her badly burnt 3-year-old daughter, Ayabulela, returned to their family home just outside King Williamstown. It is on this windswept small holding where her mother, a local school teacher all her life, was born and buried. Nomasonto, a UDF member, was the only one of her family who was politically involved. Today she is sad, rather than bitter, that her sister and mother died at the hands of her comrades. She believes the perpetrators were ill-disciplined youth who regarded anyone who did not toe the line as the enemy.
That time there was a misunderstanding between the youth in Duncan Village. So if they want to do something bad and you sort of asking them not to do it or stopping them, I think you've got Azapo ideas, and they label you as an Azapo member. But in Duncan Village that time there was no Azapo. There was only one organization, the UDF.
While Nomasonto has come to terms with the unreasonable deaths of her family, she struggles with the damage to the living, her daughter in particular.
Well, she's doing fine, and I'm trying to sort of counsel. I'm sort of counseling her when she comes home crying and telling me that some other kids are calling her Kentucky Fried Chicken because of her burns. I sort of just tell her that, listen, you are my baby, I love you. Tell them that your problem is outside, is visible. Maybe their problems, you can't see them, and your mother loves you as you are.